By attacking Ukraine when you're trying to make peace there? Is President Putin disrespecting you by attacking Ukraine when you're trying to make peace there?
What did he do?
Well, he's attacking Ukraine.
Is he disrespecting me?
Yeah.
Who are you with?
I'm Michael Burnbaum from Washington Post.
You've lost a lot of credibility. Go ahead. What else?
This is my video update on this Monday midday, May the 10th, coming to you from Athens, Greece. Let's talk about some news. And let's start things off with the rejection of Călin Georgescu's candidacy for president of Romania. He has 24 hours to appeal this decision. My guess would be that his appeal will also be rejected. The elections are scheduled for May the 5th. The second go at elections in Romania are scheduled for May the 5th because the original elections saw Georgescu making it to the second round and on track to become president of Romania. And that's when we got the Russian meddling in Chinese-owned TikTok narrative, which would cancel or annul the second round of elections in Romania. Romanian media then investigated this claim of Russian TikTok meddling, and they found out that this was false. It was all fake. And actually, the election meddling in TikTok was actually done by the ruling P&L party, the Liberal Party of Iohannis, who was the previous president. His party was actually meddling in TikTok, and they were allegedly working with a social media company called Kensington, though Kensington denies any TikTok meddling. But the Russian meddling in Chinese-owned TikTok was proven to be fake and false, but we don't want to talk about that anymore. We have fast-forwarded to Georgescu being arrested last week and detained for 6 hours as he was about to submit his candidacy for president. And the other day, he was finally allowed to submit his candidacy for president. And the election Bureau of Romania, they must have gotten a call from someone somewhere in Brussels. I don't know who called them, but someone called them and said, "We've got tools. You will not allow Georgescu to run for president, because if he runs for president, if he's allowed to run for president, he is going to freaking win, and we cannot allow him to win because Romania is too important of a country for the EU geopolitical project." That is the call that Romanian officials and Romanian judges received. That would be my guess, at least, of what happened, of what went down. We actually do have a lot of reports, credible reports, which are saying that the first elections were canceled on orders from the European Union, the EU Commission. So we do have those allegations and those reports. But yeah, his application, his candidacy, has now been rejected, and we had protests breaking out in Romania yesterday when this news dropped. And we are going to see what happens next when his appeal is going to be rejected. And I expect that his appeal, Georgescu's appeal, will be rejected, and we will see what the Romanian people do.
Many of you asked me what is happening now in Romania. We are in an ongoing coup d'etat. Mr. Georgescu put his candidacy at the Central Bureau, Electoral Bureau, and by 10 persons to 4, by 10 members to 4, it was rejected without any reason. All the papers were in good order. They just said they voted through their conscience. Now there are 5 judges there. All of them voted against him, and 5 representatives of the parties that are actually in power. The 4 votes for Mr. Georgescu were from our side of the opposition. We live in a dictatorship. Please help us. Please be on our side to restore democracy in Romania.
What a crime. What an embarrassment. What an injustice is unfolding in Romania. Romanians believed that they had a democracy, but it was the illusion of democracy. All of Europe, all of the European Union believes that they have some sort of a democracy, the member states of the EU. It's an illusion of democracy. The candidates are usually pre-approved and pre-selected, and if anyone slips through the cracks, like Giorgia Meloni, then the European Union makes sure that they bring that person back in line with the EU geopolitical project and the EU ideology. You do have people like Orban and Fico who have slipped through the cracks and are proving to be a big headache for the European Union, for the kleptocrats in Brussels, and there was no way that they were going to risk an Orban or Fico type in Romania. Romania is too important a piece on the geopolitical chessboard to have an Orban or Fico type of president. You have a big NATO base being built in Romania. Its location, its geography is way too important for the globalists. It's playing a big part in the conflict with Russia in Project Ukraine. So I expect the Romanian officials, I expect the European Union to do whatever they need to do to make sure that Georgescu is not allowed to run for president. So we will wait to see what the appeals decision is going to be, and then we will see what happens in Romania when the appeal from Georgescu is rejected. I believe he hasn't filed that appeal yet, but he does have 24 hours to do so. We do have Romanian officials who are party members, members of political parties in Romania who support Georgescu. They are appealing to the United States for some sort of help. But I don't really know what the United States can do in this situation, or if they want to do anything in this situation. So that's the update from Romania. Let's now talk about Sudzha and Kursk. Yesterday in my video update, I mentioned the pipeline story. And I wasn't sure if this was actually true. But it is true. It did happen. Russian forces did indeed travel 12 kilometers, my God, 12 kilometers through a gas pipeline, and they ended up behind Ukraine lines in Sudzha, and this caused a whole bunch of panic in the Ukraine military, in Sudzha, in Kursk, and then a rout and a collapse ensued. An amazing operation from the Russian military, an absolutely amazing freaking operation from the Russian military. I don't know what to say. 12 kilometers through a gas pipeline, which was a gas pipeline shut down by Zelensky. This was the gas pipeline, or part of the gas network, the transit network that Zelensky shut down at the end of 2024, that was feeding gas to Slovakia and to Fico. Remember that story? And Fico was very upset that the European Union had told Zelensky to shut down the gas that was being provided to Slovakia. And so they shut down the gas. The pipeline was empty. By the way, Russia is now hitting the gas pipelines because the transit has stopped on the orders of the European Union of Zelensky. And then they used this empty gas pipeline to make their way to Sudzha, get behind enemy lines, surprise the Ukraine military, cause all kinds of panic, and accelerate the collapse of the Ukraine military in Sudzha and in Kursk. This morning, there's news that the Russian military has captured an additional 8 villages in and around Kursk and around the Sudzha area. What an amazing operation. I can't say it enough. What an amazing freaking operation from the Russian military. Unbelievable, man. Unfreaking believable. If you're in the collective West, if you're briefing Trump on what's happening in Kursk, if you're giving him these briefings, I don't know, Tulsi Gabbard, I imagine Tulsi Gabbard is the one that's giving him his daily briefings, and you brief him on what happened in Kursk. If I was Trump or the Trump administration, I would say, we got to get out of this freaking war tomorrow. Enough of this proxy war, enough of our involvement fighting Russia. We got to get out of this. Because this operation shows you the determination of the Russian military. The Russian military will not be defeated. That's what this operation shows me. They will not be defeated. They will do whatever they have to do, even if it means crawling through 12 kilometers of a gas pipeline in order to defeat Ukraine. They will do it. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable what they did. And it worked. And this is not the first time that they've done this. They did this another 1 or 2 times as well in different areas on the front lines. I believe in, I don't know where. I forgot where they did this. I want to say in the Chasov Yar area or the Avdiivka area, but I could be wrong about that. But it's not the first time that the Russian military, has used the pipelines to defeat the Ukraine military. An incredible operation. The supporters of the Zelensky regime, like Bill journalist Julian Robske, posted, "The last 24 hours have shown why we should blow up all Russian pipelines into the EU. Russia is using the tubes to send soldiers and weapons to the West. Not figuratively, but literally, a military coup. It must be admitted." A military coup, it must be admitted. An admission that this was an incredible operation from the Russian military. This operation is going to go down in history. Incredible. And the Zelensky supporters are freaking out. They are absolutely in a panic because they're seeing what the Russian military does for victory, what they will do in order to win. The interesting part about Turopke's post on X is that he calls for the blowing up of pipelines, but he doesn't mention that it was the EU, NATO, and Zelensky's decision to stop the gas transiting these pipelines that led to this operation, that allowed this operation to even be possible. Good job, Zelensky. Good job, European Union. Good job, NATO, UK commanders. Good freaking job by forcing Ukraine or telling Ukraine to stop the gas transit through these pipelines. Bravo. Bravo. So what's happening in Kursk right now is the collapse of Kursk is accelerating because of this operation. And you have one big cauldron in Kursk and in Sudzha, and the Ukraine military, they're trying to retreat on foot from this encirclement in Sudzha, because from what I understand, the main roads have either been completely cut off or they're about to be cut off or under the fire control of the Russian military. But you also have in Kursk, you have a lot of smaller cauldrons as well, which have formed small pockets which are encircled of the Ukraine military who are trapped. And they're either surrendering or they're fighting to their annihilation. They need to surrender. The Ukraine military, the Syrsky command, they need to, I don't know, they need to get the message out that they have to surrender. But Syrsky in the past and Zelensky in the past, they've never opted for surrendering or retreating. They've always opted for doubling and tripling down. And we are getting reports that Syrsky is trying to feed more men and material into the one big cauldron and the other smaller cauldrons, which would be very much in line of Syrsky's past decisions when it comes to previous encirclements. Instead of retreating, he usually tries to hold on. And he tells his soldiers who are trapped to fight and to hold on. A horrific situation in Kursk for the Ukraine military, a heroic victory for the Russian military, and this is going to be a massive, big defeat for the collective West and for the Zelensky regime. And I made a prediction about a week ago. I gave it about 20-25% chance that when Kursk falls, when Russia expels Ukraine from Kursk, and the whole Kursk narrative is blown apart, that we're going to see the end of the Green Goblin. Will my prediction that I made about a week and a half ago, will it hold? We'll see. Zelensky's position does not look good. Does not look good at all. Simplicius the Thinker, on his latest blog post, his latest Substack post, said that in 24 hours, I hope I get this right, he said that in 24 hours after the Russian military moving through the pipeline, that the Ukraine military has lost up to 30% in 24 hours of the territory that they were holding in Kursk. From that one pipeline operation, after that, it was 30% of the territory just completely collapsed that they were holding in Kursk. So Trump was giving an interview to Fox News to Maria Bartiroma. That's I always mess up her last name. It's a beautiful last name, but I do mess it up. My apologies there. My last name is not easy either. But he was giving an interview to Maria Bartiroma, and then he was on Air Force One, and he was asked some questions about Project Ukraine. So to Fox News, he said that Zelensky took money from Biden like candy from a baby. Not the first time that he has made this comment. And he also admitted that Ukraine may possibly lose, even with U.S. support, even with U.S. money and weapons, that Ukraine still might not win or still might not exist. I forgot exactly what Trump said. He either said they may not win or they may not exist anymore. He said something along those lines, a very interesting admission from Trump. But when he was on Air Force One, he was asked about the pause in intel sharing. And he actually said that the pause will soon be lifted. Tomorrow's the 11th. Yeah, we have the meeting between Rubio, Waltz, and Witkoff in Saudi Arabia with Yermak and his guys. Zelensky will not be there. What does that tell you about Zelensky's position? He's been barred from attending this meeting. But that's going to take place tomorrow, and NBC News is reporting that the Trump White House, they want Yermak to sign off on the minerals deal. And they also want Yermak to agree to negotiations and peace and to giving up territory to Russia. Now, I'm not sure if they mean accepting the current situation on the front line as lost territory, or if they mean Istanbul Plus, where Yermak will have to agree to the entirety of Zaporozhye and Kherson, Donetsk and Lugansk going to Russia, which would mean a retreat of Ukrainian forces in those areas. So I'm not exactly sure what the ceding of territory or Ukraine accepting the ceding of territory means, according to the NBC News reports. But the mineral deal is not going to be enough for the Trump White House. They want the mineral deal plus Yermak agreeing to giving up territory and entering into peace negotiations with Russia. What Ukraine is going to propose, according to reports to Rubio and Waltz and Witkoff, is they're going to propose a ceasefire, a no-fly zone, basically Macron's plan. I talked about this last week. A no-fly zone, nothing going on in the Black Sea, nothing going on in the air, stopping long-range missile strikes, stopping strikes on energy infrastructure. That's what they're going to propose to the United States. And once you get a ceasefire, that's when the UK and French troops enter Ukraine. That's what Yermak is going to propose to the U.S. officials tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be an interesting day. We'll see how all of this unfolds. But what was I saying about Trump? Yeah, Trump was asked about the pause in intelligence sharing, and he said that if things go well tomorrow, that most likely the pause will be lifted. Actually, he said that the pause is already starting to be lifted, given on the positive signals that they're getting for the meeting in Saudi Arabia tomorrow. Trump says U.S. just about lifted pause in intelligence sharing with Ukraine. We just about have, Trump said when asked if he would consider lifting the pause on intelligence sharing with Ukraine. Trump expressed optimism about the upcoming discussions in Saudi Arabia. We're going to make a lot of progress. I believe this week, he said. According to NBC News, Trump reportedly wants the agreement signed, but also seeks a change in Zelensky's approach to peace negotiations, specifically a willingness to make concessions, such as transferring territory to Russia. Regarding the minerals accord, which would give the U.S. access to certain mineral resources in Ukraine, Trump claimed they will sign the minerals deal, but I want them to want peace. They haven't shown it to the extent they should. So that's the situation. That's the setup for the big negotiations that are going to take place tomorrow. Negotiations without the Green Goblin. Present will be the Green Goblin's entertainment lawyer, Andrei Yermak. So Elon Musk got in it with Sikorsky, since we're talking about intel sharing, a pause in intel sharing and a lifting of the pause of intel sharing. Musk got into it on X with Thank You USA, Sikorsky, the man who was very happy that Nord Stream was blown up and thanked the United States of America for the blowing up of Nord Stream. That's Sikorsky, the foreign minister of Poland, a very high-level neocon, a man who was at the Maidan coup in 2014. Musk, he posted yesterday on X that if Starlink were to be shut down, then the Ukraine military would collapse. The entire front line for Ukraine would collapse if he turned Starlink off. That was what he posted yesterday. I talked about this in my update yesterday. And Sikorsky, he replied to Musk saying, Starlinks for Ukraine are paid for by the Polish digitization ministry at the cost of about $50 million per year. The ethics of threatening the victim of aggression apart, if SpaceX proves to be an unreliable provider, will be forced to look for other suppliers. Not worded so well, this post from Sikorsky. The ethics of threatening the victim of aggression apart, if SpaceX proves to be An unreliable provider will be forced to look for other suppliers. Okay, whatever. That's what Sikorsky said, and Elon Musk replied to Sikorsky by saying, "Be quiet, small man. You pay a tiny fraction of the cost, and there is no substitute for Starlink." So the whole intel sharing thing is spinning narrative, man. Does it affect the Ukraine military, the U.S. cutting of intel sharing? Sure it does, to a certain extent, but I don't believe it makes that much of a difference for Ukraine. To me, I've always seen it as more of an inconvenience for the Ukraine military than as something that makes a big difference to what's actually happening on the ground, because this information can be obtained elsewhere. The UK or the EU can, the Five Eyes, they can get whatever information they need to get to Ukraine. But the Starlink, if you really wanted, I said this yesterday, if you really wanted to cut off information for the Ukraine military, which would then lead to an end to the conflict, or at least would accelerate some sort of an end to the conflict in the form of a Ukraine military capitulation to Russia, then you would cut off Starlink. And Elon Musk does not cut off Starlink. On the one side, he is saying that he wants to see the conflict end, and he wants to see the killing end, and he wants to see the suffering end. But on the other side, he is talking about how great Starlink has been for the Ukraine military, and that if Starlink was cut off, then that would lead to the Ukraine military collapse, which means that you would have the Ukraine military capitulating to Russia, and you would have an end to the conflict. They drip feed the weapons, the money, the intelligence to Ukraine because they're not quite ready to see an end to the conflict, or at least they don't want to see a decisive Russian victory, because what the Trump administration wants to do is he wants to present this as his negotiation brought peace to the conflict in Ukraine, which is understandable because Trump's position has been that he is going to be the big negotiator, and he's going to bring an end to the war. Instead of walking away from the conflict, he made the decision that he is going to own the conflict, and in owning the conflict, he's going to be the one that brings an end to the conflict. And you can't have a decisive Russian victory. You have to have it presented as if you are the one that negotiated the peace. Anyway, we will see tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a very big day, and probably tomorrow afternoon, or most likely Wednesday, we'll have a clearer picture as to what is going on with Project Ukraine and with the Trump negotiations. Do we have anything else to talk about? A big story from yesterday was that Canada has a new prime minister. His name is Mark Carney. Mark Carney is in the same party as Trudeau, and the Liberal Party, they voted him in by a big majority over Chrystia Freeland. He absolutely crushed Chrystia Freeland in the votes, the party member votes, and he has become the new Prime Minister of Canada. He's not the designated Prime Minister or the Prime Minister-elect or anything like that. I believe he is now the official Prime Minister of Canada. I could be wrong about this, but he's the new guy running the show in Canada, a former Goldman Sachs employee, right? I believe Goldman Sachs. Former governor of the Bank of Canada. And get this, he was also the former head of the Bank of England. Bank of England. All right. Goldman Sachs, Bank of Canada, Bank of England. Liberal Party members, they vote for the pre-approved, pre-selected candidates, and Mark Carney is the guy. He is WEF, Bilderberg, globalist through and through, man. You see, Romania, These are the types of people that the European Union want to see as president. They want to see the Mark Carney types, the Justin Trudeau types. Something tells me that Canada's situation got a whole lot worse. Incredible as it may sound, Trudeau is gone, finally, but I don't know if things are going to get better under Prime Minister Carney. Big news from Canada. Mark Carney. So you have Carney in Canada, banking guy. You have BlackRock Merz in Germany. You have Macron, who was the youngest manager for what was it, Rothschild's Bank or something like that. You have Macron in France. You see, they don't want Georgescu. They don't want Georgescu picking up bottles. Not my bottle. Someone threw a bottle on the floor, on the ground here on the grass. So she's cleaning it up. But yeah, those are the types of people that they want to see in office. The Carneys, the Macrons, the BlackRock Merz, not the Georgescus, not the Orbans, not the Fixos. These people are unacceptable to the globalist machine. Anyway, I'm rambling here. Let's do a clown world and we'll wrap this video up. Monday is always my worst video day. I don't know why. It's just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday. That's my fun day. I miss the Bengals. Oh boy, I miss the Bengals. Let's see here. Clown world. Sunak said that, what did Rishi Sunak say? He's back. Rishi Sunak. You see, Rishi Sunak, he's an acceptable prime minister for the globalists. He said, it's our moral duty to seize Russian assets to help Ukraine. That's right, Sunak. That's right, UK. It's your moral duty. It's morality. It's moral. It's moral to steal. It's our moral duty to steal someone else's property. Yes. Yes, according to Rishi Sunak, collective West values. It's our moral duty to steal your money. Not much of a clown world, but anyway, the New York Times has an article with the title, "A Europe in Emotional Shock Grapples with a New Era." And this photo is now a famous photo from the London summit that took place a couple of weeks ago. All of the cool kids were at this event, and they're in this photo. You got little Napoleon Macron there. You have Vander Crazy. You have Pirate Schultz. Pirate Schultz is there, and 008 Stammer. Maloney's in this photo, though she's trying to hide. I hope I'm not in this photo. Maloney's like, don't take a picture of me. And Donald Tusk is there, but you have Zelensky and Trudeau. They're saying something. What are they saying? What is Trudeau whispering to Zelensky in this photo? What is Trudeau saying? Volodymyr, in 1 week, I'm not going to be Prime Minister of Canada anymore, and I wrote this screenplay about a former Canadian Prime Minister and a former dictator of Ukraine on a road trip across Canada, and I was wondering maybe you would want to be part of this production. Sounds interesting, Justin. How much will you pay? I don't know. What are they saying? What is Trudeau saying? Caption this photo in the comments down below, everybody. Let's see some funny captions to this photo. What is Trudeau telling Volodymyr Zelensky? Both of them, when this photo was taken, both of them know that they are about to exit the scene. What is Justin Big Balls Trudeau telling the Green Goblin. It's actually a nice movie title name, huh? Big Balls and Green Goblin. Road trip across Canada. It's a Monday, man. It's a Monday. Anyway, that's the video. TheDuran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, Odyssey, and where else? We're on Telegram and X. I post on X daily. I think my posts are pretty good. Maybe they're not. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing on X. But follow me there, and I will see everybody tomorrow. Go to the Duran shop. Pick up a bomber jacket. Pick up a long sleeve shirt with whatever flag you like. I'm wearing the flag of Hungary today. The link to the Duran shop is in the description box down below. Take care.